This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Alex Pounders, Seth Holbrook, and Peanut Head. Thank you all so much. They these people donated on patreon.com/IHateHorror, which you can just show me fucking bullshit. You can donate monetarily at patreon.com/IHateHorror. And dude, stop. Anyway, up next, Murder Party. Enjoy. Jesus Christ. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show. Show it dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. Sean.
I'm Joe.
Welcome back. I do that a lot. I do that song too often. We're back again. This next couple of weeks is going to be a exciting couple of weeks. What? Murder Party. But the more exciting one was the one I had the least hopes for. This was the old switcheroo for me. I'm more excited to talk about next week, which is SICK, an acronym for Serial Insane Clown Killers.
I'm incredibly unexcited to talk about either of these.
Murder Party, did you like it?
Did I like
We're doing Murder Party this week. 2007?
Yeah.
Yep. Shot by Potato.
So it was, it's directed by the guy who went on to do Blue Ruin and Green Room.
Right.
Which I enjoy quite a bit.
Did you see Blue Ruin?
No.
Neither have I.
But I enjoyed Green Room.
Green Room was awesome.
And after watching this, I'm not surprised that guy went on to do such a good movie.
Agree.
Because this movie is incredibly low budget. And I mean, it looks low budget, but it's not a pile of trash.
My understanding is they started filming with $0.
Really?
Yes. The budget that they did end up using was almost entirely used on the special effects.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, looking forward to next week's movie, it was probably made with the same resources, if not more. Right. And it is night and day.
And you know what? Very comparable time periods too. Sick was at 2003.
Right.
I don't even understand how it's possible when you look at this film that it was made any point past like 1994.
Well, that's why Murder Party should be praised to the director's credit.
I guess that's true.
Because Sick looks like something I would make if I had no money.
Yeah.
And Murder Party looks like something I would make if I had talent and no money. So,
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Murder Party was weird. I had a hard time. I don't know. As everyone knows, we use Letterboxd for everything. You can find us on Letterboxd. The easiest way is sean.ihatehorror.com. and joe.ihatehorror.com, and that will redirect you to our Letterboxd pages, because I don't know, we'll never remember the Letterboxd URL ever. In a million years, we'll never do it. So I did that for your guys' sake. But I could not review that for the life of me. Like, I really liked it, but I was just kind of like, I'll never watch it again.
Sure.
Ever. I don't care about it that much.
Well, that's why. It
did nothing to my like soul. And we should mention this was brought to us. Did I already mention that this was Thom Tum?
No.
This is Thom Tum's pick. Thom Tum and I think, have a very similar taste in movies. He loves The Greasy Strangler. which I also do. I think he might have given it 5 stars.
Yeah.
He's an artist. He's an artist, and he works in theater, and so I appreciate that. And I appreciate Murder Party, but I appreciate his rating. He actually gave Murder Party a 3.
That's fair.
So yeah. But he likes it. I don't know. I was just like so in the middle of it that I just couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I don't think I'd be in a hurry to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I appreciate like I said, I appreciate it. I started the episode by saying I wasn't excited to talk about it, and that's because it was very dialogue heavy. Like it felt like it could have been like a Tarantino movie.
A lot of jokes, a lot of wordplay. Like it was all dialogue. I mean,
because it's a limited setting.
Yeah.
And limited budget.
Yes. Actually, when you think about that, that's actually great. What a great use of fucking setting.
Yeah.
Like an apartment, a warehouse room.
You could see.
And a roof.
You could see things the whole time.
You could see everything, which was incredible. So let's get into Murder Party. I don't know how long of an episode this is going to be or what we're going to talk about when it ends in 20 minutes.
It's a short movie.
It's short, 1 hour and 20 minutes, but also we're just not going to have a ton to say. And it's a really good movie, so check it out too. Check out Murder Party. I just said it's a really good movie, but like, I would say for this, see it before you listen to us talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
spoil the entire thing.
We'll spoil it. It's kind of recent. And again, it's dialogue heavy. So you might, if we talk about it, you're going to miss like a ton of the stuff. Like there's a point in this movie where they're all doing pun jokes. It was a legitimately super funny scene, but I didn't write them all down. And we're going to like gloss over it. And we're going to be like, well, yeah, it was all right. And people are going to be like, that sounds fucking terrible. But it was like a legitimately funny scene. It's I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
Did you see that dude? Did they all play their name? Macon?
That's what I think they did. Yeah.
What was it? How do you pronounce that? Macon. He just directed a movie that came out this year. People are loving. I haven't seen it yet.
What's it called?
It's like I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Oh, he directed that?
I believe so.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of praise for that movie. That's interesting. And he was also in Green Room, I think.
Yeah, they're like old friends, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Saulner.
Why can't we be famous and just make fucking
because it would be like sick.
Just Paul walking around the woods,
poorly
talking. I'm so excited to talk about it. All right, so Murder Party, and it's just a well done movie. I think the thing, I don't know, whatever. Okay, Murder Party. We're gonna try and do this. We open up 80s synth, but not the recent overused. I would call it overused in indies now, like independent films now. It's like everyone uses synth now, but they go on the higher end of the keys. Like it's like that, like the more of the John Carpenter. Like I liked this one because this was like the low end of the spectrum. It was just like like fucking. I don't even know how to explain it, but I love that synth. And it was awesome. And a great opening where it just shows Murder Party on the screen, very old school.
Yes, that was actually my note. I liked how it started. Such
a cool intro. And we just see a town, which ended up being New York City. But it looks, they painted it like it was a small town. So maybe like Long Island or something like that, Staten Island, whatever. Are those different?
Yes.
Okay.
Much so.
Outside of Manhattan Island, I have, in Brooklyn, I know, but wait, what?
They're in Brooklyn in this movie.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, we see a black envelope blowing across the sidewalk, and we meet our main character. Does he have a fucking name? Christopher. Never caught his name in this entire movie. Steps on the envelope, picks it up, opens it up, and it says, "You're invited to a murder party."
So naturally, he fucking goes.
He's like, that's a great plan. He goes home in a great scene where he, again, like It's going to be so hard to talk about.
Not only would I not go to this murder party, I'd probably just alert the authorities.
Dude, I would. You know what? I want to say that's what I would do at this age. Yes, at 21,
you wouldn't go. You would not go by yourself.
No. Well, actually, because it said like you have to come alone on that letter. Yeah. I would not go to that.
Like
right.
I could see because all our friends were buffoons, especially at that age. Like someone would be like, "Yeah, we got to go." And I'll just pile in a car and go. But you would not go by yourself.
I would not go by myself. You're right. Yeah, but murder party. This guy goes home, and it's going to be tough to talk about because like this scene is probably like 5-10 minutes long, and he's not talking to anyone except his cat in it.
Yeah,
but it's a super interesting. Like I don't want to say it's beautifully shot because it looks very old. Like it looks like it's shot on VHS, even though it's widescreen and clearly digital, but it's just got this like filter on it or something. I don't know. Like. I don't know what it is, but he goes home. He pours a. I'll tell you what. This movie did make me really in the mood for Halloween. Really? This season, I was like, oh man, I was feeling it. I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready for October, man. Like this guy pours a giant bag of candy corn.
Our man Elliot calls it the perfect Halloween movie.
He does
on Letterboxd.
And I wouldn't go say it's perfect, but it's good. It's good. He pours a bag of candy corn into a bowl, pops in a VHS called Scare Wolf.
Great name.
Yeah. And then this scene is like...
Can we petition Jeremy Saltner to make that his next movie?
Sure.
Scarewolf.
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 Scarewolf, 100%. And then a great scene where he's like, what's his cat's name? It's like Sir, and he even got a credit in the movie.
Sir Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot. And he's like, Sir Lancelot, get down. And then it just cuts back and forth between this old ratty ass cat sitting on a chair and this guy's Christopher's face, our lead guy's face. And they're just going back and forth to each other, cutting to a cat's face and a human's face for like what seemed like a full minute, just back and forth, like after a couple seconds. And then he's like, all right. And then he just leaves. He just is like, oh, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to win. So he's not going to watch his movie. He ends up going to the back room. Well, first he map quests murder party.
Do you remember? Do you think
map quest?
There's definitely people that listen to us that never had to do that, right?
No. Now, this film took place
2007, right?
I guess 2007 would have... No, 2007, I guess it was still MapQuest era. There was like flip phones and shit, though. I didn't know if it was supposed to be a little earlier or not.
I was definitely using MapQuest.
In 2007?
Because it was my first,
I had an iPhone,
it was my first senior year.
Although, no, maybe not. Oh, no, I don't know. Holy shit, we're so spoiled. Like, I feel like I've had an iPhone GPS for my entire life.
No, I got my iPhone when I was teaching.
I remember going to concerts with like printed paper sheets like all over the fucking front seat and being like, "Oh shit!"
And then you're reading like the wrong steps, so you just keep driving looking for the wrong exit.
Dude, I remember almost getting into an accident because I would fold my paper because I could not like. I couldn't drive and look at each line, so I'd have to like fold my paper after every couple of steps to ensure I didn't just repeat. Dude, how crazy is that? Pre-GPS. Like, my mind can't even comprehend it now.
When I was 17, 18, I drove to the Jersey Shore and used a legitimate map. Like an actual road map.
Dude, I think that's what we did to Narragansett also when we went on that trip.
I hope that's true because that was way too late to be using a legitimate map. That was like 2007.
I think I might have had a map out at one point. But that's probably, whatever. Can't trust the people we were with. Anyway, now they all listen to this shit. So. He takes the pumpkin that was smashed in the credits. It was his pumpkin on his front steps. Takes it and makes banana bread. And he also makes a costume. Or, I mean, not banana bread, pumpkin bread.
I was going to say, that's pretty impressive.
He turns pumpkin
bread
into banana bread. He also makes this insane cardboard outfit of like a knight's helmet and a broadsword and like knight armor. And It's a very impressive costume.
Especially out of cardboard.
And he tells fucking whatever this kid, Lancelot, he's out of here and not to eat the food and shit. That's it. He brings the bread, leaves the candy corn on the side, and our knight in shining armor is on his way. How about this subway scene? I think this subway scene is second to the entire movie of Maniac for painting an accurate portrayal of New York City.
Of New York, just next to a stupid asshole that you don't want to be near, in like full costume.
So our guy is in a night costume, sitting on the train, just staring forward, and you hear like somebody rapping, and the camera pulls out, and you just see this guy on the train leaning forward, like, how do you explain it? Like the opposite direction. Like he's staring at us, and this guy's staring at his face sideways, and it's just like burning a hole into him with his look, and just rapping at him, and just rapping, and just saying the stupidest shit, and just like bobbing his head, but staring at our lead character's face.
That is a New York City subway,
dude. It's completely happened.
If you've never been on a subway and somebody is just rambling about like the AIDS epidemic to themselves,
literally.
And arguing about it. Dude, how do you have a nonstop conversation like that with yourself?
It's crazy. It's impressive. Like this might not have even been
it wasn't scripted.
Yeah. Like they might have been like, oh, we have to get to the other location. And then this just started happening and they were like, we should probably roll on this. But it's like a great scene. It just, besides Maniac, the movie Maniac, this is like the most accurate portrayal of New York City.
No, Maniac was for that time.
Oh yeah.
This is for this time.
It.
Yeah.
This is
the progression.
And this really is, I mean,
less whores, more ass.
I've hung out my fair share in Brooklyn in my late teens, early 20s, I guess. I don't know. Obviously I have a bad recollection of years and time, as you heard earlier. But man, this brought back some like memories of just like the shittiest parties and the shittiest fucking people. And we'll get to it in a minute, but this is a very, this movie's like anti-hipster kind of. Like I think they poke fun at hipsters, but it's also very much made for hipsters, which was like the weirdest thing. And it's like, it's like made for hipsters that hate hipsters. Self-loathing hipsters. In my opinion, like that's how it felt to me. And maybe that's why it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Cause I was like, the fuck is this? Like, it's not just ragging on hipsters and like doing its own thing. It is very much like a hipster flick. Like it was weird. Like, I don't know. So anyway, he gets off the subway and he gets to, is this when he gets to it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He gets in, he goes into this building, very creepy, industrial type building, like business, definitely like a business.
It's not one I would enter for sure.
Dude, if you saw the fucking door, and the door's closed, it's not even like welcoming.
Right.
And there's like two doors, and he goes through both of them, and it is terrifying. Like you're right. I would never have entered this party.
Going to a party by yourself is
crazy.
Insane.
It's insane.
Let alone one called a murder party.
So he shows up at this party, and there's a bunch of weirdos in costumes, and he walks in, and he's like, "Happy." This guy is great. I do love Christopher. Yeah. He's so funny. The way he plays his character. He's like, "Happy Halloween. Thanks for inviting me." Like, dude, the invitation was not sent to your house. You found it on the ground. Thanks for inviting me.
Nobody knows who you are.
Dude, and everyone's staring at him like, what the fuck? Like, and you're really confused at first.
I did like the costumes that the people inside were wearing.
Okay, so we have a wolf man.
Yep. That's the guy that directed the movie. Macon.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's him.
Then we have Paul, who's a vampire. Yes. Like an old school vampire.
Yes. Yeah, like a colonial vampire.
A gothic vampire. Yeah. We have a zombie cheerleader.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yep.
We have the replicant from Blade Runner, Daryl Hannah.
Oh, is that what that costume is? Oh, holy shit. I was wondering what she was the whole time.
And then we have the baseball fury from the Warriors.
Yes, which is a great costume.
I love the Warriors.
Dude, the Warriors is so fucking good. I kind of wish we were talking about the Warriors.
Me too.
The Warriors. And did you catch the nod to the Warriors in the movie.
Which part?
Now I'm going to sound like an asshole because I can't remember. He's talking to the baseball fury and he's like, I can dig it. Alexander goes, I can dig it.
Nice.
And little nod there.
Wish they played Mudvayne.
Wait, what?
They used to dress like Furies.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and they have a song called Dig.
I do remember Dig. Do you remember, were you at the Mudvayne show with me?
I was there. Yes.
When he was dressed like a teddy bear with his intestines hanging out?
Yes. You want to know why I remember that? Because there was a guy that was like 98 years old and he just kept telling me that he wants to die in the middle of the floor. And every time somebody would walk by, he would backhand slap them in the chest and then just stare them down.
Do you remember the old drunk? Have we talked about this on the show before? I know we've talked about it probably together. The old drunk that used to show up. There was this hall called the Webster Theater. So there's 2 concert venues in Connecticut. Yeah. I refuse to acknowledge it. There's 2 concert venues in Connecticut. There's Toad's Place in New Haven, Southern Connecticut.
So many more concert venues.
Yeah, but those are like the main ones.
The Meadows.
Fuck the
Mohegan.
Shit's
Oakdale.
Way too fucking corporate for me. Fuck. What the fuck are you talking about?
Toad's Place and Webster.
And the Webster.
Yeah.
2 like the lower end of the spectrum concerts where you're going to see the best bands like Gwar and shit like that. Which are, to me, I always prefer Toads. Always preferred Toads.
Without a doubt.
Because we're like right in the middle, so we could go either way. The Webster had though characters that you would see literally every fucking concert. The 98-year-old man and this drunk. I don't know if you remember. He's like in his 50s.
Did he wear a hardcore hat?
No.
Oh.
No, dude, he dressed.
That guy used to put me in headlocks.
This guy looked like he was like a fucking painter or a construction worker that just got off of work and was fucking loaded. Like you could smell the booze on his breath. And he would just go into the mosh pit and try and fight people half his age who then just beat the shit out of him. And he would get mad. Like every fucking concert, he was so fucking angry because somebody punched him in the face because he didn't know how to mosh. Like he was not in it for the fun. Like he was like, he thought it was like a big fight, but then, and so he'd get involved and then he'd be really upset when somebody was like, hey man, go fuck yourself and punch him in the face. Then he'd be like, what the fuck?
I don't remember him.
You don't remember this guy?
No.
Dude, I saw him at so many concerts there and it was so unsettling. And I mean, I've taken swings at him before.
I'm sure I have.
I'm sure you have also. You 100% have. And I would put money that Paul has knocked him out. Like, probably on multiple occasions. Maybe from behind.
Dude, I can't tell it on air. But there's some good Paul concert stories.
Dude, Paul.
It's incriminating.
It is incriminating. It's near criminal. And really, it's more incriminating. Like people would just be like, "Oh, what a jerk!"
Exactly.
But Paul's reformed. Paul's reformed quite a bit since that period. Paul was just really hostile, man.
He was
very hostile.
Trust me, I lived with him.
Which was so weird because he was such a nice guy to like me. I guess it's not weird. It was just me. I was the isolated incident, but he was just always nice to me. So I don't know. Whatever. Thanks, Paul, for not beating the shit out of me, punching me in the back of the head. Stealing my shoes and mosh pits.
Allegedly.
Anyway, back to Murder Party. So we have our cast of characters there. And as soon as this guy walks in there, you get this weird vibe. They start passing like the letter to each other. Like there's something going on. And we see the Wolfman just I was like, where the fuck is this movie going? Because the Wolfman's just right behind him with a fucking...
With an axe?
Giant axe about to take this dude out.
I actually really like this scene because he's about to kill him with a fucking axe, but it gets caught on like a light... What do you... A chain?
Yeah, like chain? A light switch. Like
one of the dangling chains.
Yeah, dangling chaff. Hanging chaff.
Hanging chaff. Wait, it was the voting thing?
It was like one of the... Like with a garage light switch, you got the chain.
Yeah.
And it was like a big rope chain. Anyway, his axe gets caught in this and he can't pull the axe out.
There's no physically possible way that would like hold up the axe.
But it turns off the light, right?
Yeah.
It turns off or turns on the light. I don't know. One of the two. But the guy's...
It turns on the light.
Yeah, it turns on the light.
Because he sees the shadow behind
Yes. And he sees the shadow of this guy with an axe. It's like, what the fuck? And the Wolfman screams, tackle him or get him. They all run up, tackle him, tie him up in a chair. And it is revealed very quickly, they're going to kill this guy.
What a shocker. The murder party.
I mean, I was kind of shocked.
Come on. Literally explained to you the title.
As stupid as it sounds, I was expecting it to not be so on the nose, not to be such a murder party. It was. I was honestly like, wow, this is coming at me really fast. Like, no build up to this murder party. Like, they tie him up and they're like, yeah, we're gonna murder you.
Sean, that's the least shocking thing I've ever heard.
Anyway, so he's tied up, and all these murderers, though, you realize that they're artists. They're being very weird. One's filming him, one's taking photographs. The baseball fury is just playing his PSP on the floor. Yeah.
So miserable.
Dude, he's the Charlie Brown of the group. Just fucking sitting around like an asshole. And our zombie cheerleader is eating his pumpkin bread, which is so funny that he brought fucking pumpkin bread to a murder party. It is like one of the funniest things. Like, I'm going to a murder party. I'm going to bring pumpkin bread. And she's eating it, and she goes, are there raisins in this?
Non-organic raisins.
Yeah. Are there raisins in this? And he's like, mm-hmm. And she's like, are they organic? And he's like, no. She's like, oh God, I'm allergic to organic raisins. She falls over and like, she's like, oh, nothing happens. I just get dizzy.
Smells like grass, cut grass or something.
That was funny. And she falls over and her head gets impaled by like a little pole.
That wound was kind of gross looking.
Very gross. Their circular wounds in this are vile.
Well done.
Because later on somebody gets shot, spoiler alert, and it was like, I was like, oh, I really didn't like that. Like, it looked real, like way too real. Like, what was that fucking website in the 90s? Rotten.com real. I was like, oh, I don't like this at all. And I don't like that the guy lived for like 3 minutes after. It was just like, like it really was unsettling.
Yeah, again, it's not surprising that this guy went on to direct movies that I really enjoy.
Yes, exactly. And Green Room is like, I saw one review for this that was perfect, which was like, you can tell it's his first movie, but it's not his best. And I was like, yeah, of course. And the guy rated it like highly, but was
How devastating would it be if your first movie was your best?
That would Kevin Smith. I think I'm just saying that. I'm not.
I mean, it is his best. Fuck.
I think Dogma's his best, honestly, but
Dogma's very good.
I love Dogma. I just revisited it.
Mallrats.
The writing is genius in Dogma. Like literally.
I'll defend Kevin Smith.
I'll always defend Kevin Smith. I like them all.
Yeah.
I like them all.
I thought Tusk was great.
I rewatched Tusk and I actually really liked it. Again,
it's good.
Yoga Hosers is good too. Anyway, we are getting off topic a lot on this one. So he kills this. Well, he doesn't kill her, but she dies, and the Wolfman's like, "You fucking killed her!" And they had mentioned that
he's screaming about how he's gonna kill him for so long, does nothing,
dude.
At this murder party,
which is really funny. Like I do think like it's well acted. I guess that's why it's hard to talk about because they're all so kind of natural.
It was that is a great point, which in the next week's episode, because
the most unnatural.
We've mentioned this before. Like, why is it so hard
to just behave like a person?
Talk like just have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then you think like, well, maybe like when you're being filmed, it's just not natural.
Yeah.
But these guys are nobodies.
Right.
And they're just having conversations.
Yeah. And they're doing it perfectly. Like even this guy freaking out that his friend just died, but blaming it on this person who's
showing emotions.
And he's like, I'm going to murder this guy now because we're going to murder him anyway. So now I'm amped up. The way he's doing it, though, is like you can tell he's afraid. Like he's actually acting.
The more I think about this movie and the more I think about the Sick, the more I like this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Because this guy's actually portraying, like, this guy's showing you an emotion in this scene where he's like, he's just screaming, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill over and over again. But he's not killing you. Yeah. But he does end up picking up this jug of acid that they mentioned earlier. Like they were like, we have acid.
I forgot about this. He pours it all over.
Dude, he's spraying it in his face and he's like, how do you like it? He's like, I'm going to kill you.
And then he feels terrible.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
it's just vinegar.
It's acetic acid. And they're like, it smells like vinegar. The dialogue is really just great. Like, again, like one of the guys walks up and is like, it smells like vinegar. And then the girl's like, let me look it up. And she gets on her phone. She's like, yeah, it's vinegar. And like the other thing though is no one shows like any emotion. Like after that, you would expect in a movie, especially a horror movie, some dramatic, like that's the other thing. Like nothing was like too over the top in it.
His range of emotions is really great because it is very human-like.
Yeah.
Like, he's furious that somebody died, he's taking it out, and then just immediately feels guilt about doing it.
And then, like, but then there's, like, this other side of the movie, which is, like, they find out that this guy just, like, they just watched this guy throw what they thought was real acid all over him. And then they find out it's acetic acid, and they're all just like, meh. Like no one's like, God damn it, or like they're just like, oh, okay, well, good to know. Like, or even like, why'd you bring acetic acid?
Why did they bring acetic? Oh, we didn't mention that.
I think for destroying the body.
Breaking Bad style.
Yeah, I think that was the point. Yeah.
We didn't mention that they're all doing this to impress some blowhard.
Alexander, who we'll meet shortly. They take their friend's body, they shove it in an ice chest. Which is ridiculous. But the reason they put her in the ice chest is because they put her in the ice chest because they think Alexander, they're like, you can tell they're really worried about Alexander. They say Alexander gives out grants for artwork. Yep. But they're like, Alexander's totally going to think we're a bunch of dildos if they find our friend dead on the ground. This word dildo will be used nonstop throughout this movie. They use the word dildo to explain a loser so often. I don't know if that's like a Brooklyn thing.
Nope, it was a sign of the times.
Yeah, it was like just 2007.
Yes.
Just like were they mocking 2007 people saying that? Or
no,
do you think that was
I think it was just in there for
natural?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it was weird.
I distinctly remember.
It was so fucking weird. Like how often they call people dildos. Like Alexander calls everyone dildo. He's like, oh, this guy's such a dildo. He walks in when he sees the guy.
A thing that brings many people pleasure.
Alexander knows what they're doing. He knows it's a murder party. He shows up in just a few minutes. So I don't know why I'm jumping to this, but whatever. He shows up. He walks in and he's like, what's up? And then he looks at the guy in the chair. Clearly, he knows what's going on. And he goes, who's this dildo? And it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's really like off-putting now. So where were we? So they put the body in the freezer. Oh, Alexander comes in. He's got a dog named Hellhound. Was that the name of the dog? Hellhound?
I don't think I wrote it down.
I think it's Hellhound. And he introduces this guy who looks like a Eastern European mobster, and he's like, he goes, this is Zyko, my new best friend. Which is like so weird. This character was such a creep, but so awesome.
It was Hellhammer.
Hellhammer. Yes, Hellhammer. I might have to name my dog
Pre-Celtic Frost Band.
Oh, is that what it's? You think that's what it's named after?
Well, it could be the drummer from Mayhem.
I bet you that's actually what it is. No.
I'm sure Hellhammer's used for so many things.
I'm sure it's like this
widely popular name. So, Jeremy, did you name the character after the drummer of Mayhem? The fuck are you talking about?
Fuck is Mayhem? Oh, you know, a band fucking ate the drummer's brain. Somebody escort these guys out of here. Get these fucking clowns out of here. Talking nonsense. Now I want to talk to him about Mayhem. Does he have a Twitter?
I'll look it up right now. Actually, the two things that came up when I typed in Hellhammer are Pre-Celtic Frost Band and the drummer of Mayhem. So there's a chance.
So he walks in. He sees Paul, who is our vampire.
He does. I'm going to tweet him right now.
And yeah,
it's a real-time tweet, people.
Real-time tweet to find out which. Ask him.
I'm going to say, hey, dildo. Did you name...
I want you to say that to him, but I don't want to block me. I don't want him to I don't want him to be upset by it. I would hope he would understand what it's about.
Dude, even if I had a movie and I just called everyone a dildo, the second somebody talked to me
a dildo,
they'd be blocked so fast.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So I'll keep talking. Oh, so Alexander comes in. Alexander's also dressed as a vampire. He sees Paul dressed as his colonial vampire, and he's like, "Take off your vampire fangs." The guy's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Take off your vampire fangs." So he does, and your vampire coat, and your vampire shirt. Now take off your vampire pants. The audio is so low in this too. I think that was one of the reasons I was unhappy with this movie.
Sorry, I was
the audio
crafting my tweet.
Like the audio level was so low. Like I had to turn my TV up all the way. Did you have that problem?
My audio was extremely low. I don't know if it was the quality that the
I think
version
it's just
that we were watching.
talking. I don't know. So he starts going around the room and he starts saying, you know, I want to hear your ideas. What's your art exhibit plan? So we're learning that this grant is going to be for fucking Boognish tweet. That's what you just heard. Boognish writes,
hold on, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay, he's not done yet. So Alexander, we learn, is the grant that he's going to give out is for an art exhibit using this guy's dead body, I guess, or the murder of this guy. So Alexander's going around asking everyone what their art exhibit's going to be using this guy's dead body. Lexi says Lexi's doing video, like a video art exhibit. And these are all like, I don't know how you explain it. Modern art.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Like
MoMA?
She shows like the thing she's working on is her in a bathtub with hot dogs being dumped on her. And she's like, isn't it awesome? And Alexander's like, yeah, sure. Paul's going to be doing photography. And then they go to the baseball fury and they're like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know. I was just going to cut off his dick and set him on fire. Which is the funniest response I've ever heard. And he's like so nonchalant about it.
This guy is the most nonchalant guy.
Yeah. But there's definitely something off with him.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, we'll learn that. But like at this point, you're kind of like, well, that's a weird answer, but you just think it's a joke in the movie. But we'll get some more fucked up things about this. We get a little I shouldn't say little, long monologue from Alexander talking about just bullshit and calling everyone dildos and explaining inspiration to them. But then he reveals at the witching hour, they will stab our lead character who is still tied up to a chair. They start arguing about what food they're going to eat in another hilarious scene that I'm not even going to try and replicate because they're like, oh, we should get a cake. It's a party. And like Alexander's like, yeah, like somebody suggests pizza and he gets upset. And that's ultimately what they end up getting.
Yeah. Because Macon goes, is this the part where he goes to get the pizza?
Well, they're about to, but our first Chris, our lead, gets freed. Our knight gets himself out of the chair. I forget how though.
Did they like cut to like the behind the chair?
Yeah. He like somehow got himself loose. So he's on the run. They're chasing in one of the weirdest chase scenes, but honestly, probably one of the most realistic because it is just regular guys. All these murderers are not trained murderers. So when this guy gets loose, they are like bumbling fools. Right. Like they are like tripping over their own shit. The werewolf is using a chainsaw as his preferred murder weapon and is running with, but it's a fucking electric chainsaw. So he like runs out of cord and it just unplugs and he's like, oh, he's like, oh shit. Our guy locks himself into a closet. You're thinking at this point, okay, so we're going to get like, I don't know, a change of pace. He opens the door and they're all just standing outside the door waiting for him. And he opens the door and he's just like holding a bunch of cleaning supplies and just like throws it in their general direction, hitting none of them, tries to run away, gets captured again.
Yeah, right.
And now they have him tied up with like fucking chains. Like he's going nowhere. Right. And we're back to square one, which is an interesting choice to say the least. But yeah, Macon goes now to, they send, I forget what they do. Oh, do they? I don't know if they go out for pizza yet, but they must have at some point.
Yeah, because
I must have missed that.
he makes Paul take off his vampire costume.
Yeah.
And then Alexander has sex with the girl.
Yes, that happens just now.
Okay,
that
so
happens
then
right now. Yeah.
Because he's going to get the pizza.
Oh, okay. So that's why he's coming back in.
Yes.
And he walks by Lexi and Alexander having sex in what is that? They're like in a small house.
I don't know what that is.
It's so weird.
I thought it was a dream at first, but I was like, no, it's in this room.
But you can see Alexander and Lexi having sex as Paul walks by, or no, the werewolf.
Macon.
Yeah, Macon walks by, and you can tell he's upset because he likes Lexi. And fucking Alexander comes out and goes, this movie is so fucking weird. He goes, Lexi's pussy screamed at me. It is one of the weirdest fucking scenes I've ever seen. And this just makes Macon really upset. And you can start to see cracks in this. You're getting prepared for what's about to go down in this one. We also, so the gang gets back together. They take truth serum,
which is like popular in Belarus.
They call it extreme truth or dare in Belarus. So Zyko has it for some reason. And this is when they start doing the pun game. They're just like going around and just making puns. And it is so fucking funny.
And then it is because they're so corny.
They're so bad. And they're all laughing.
And
so
Christopher gets involved, even though he's being held against his will.
He's like, and they're like, oh, he's got something to say because he's like gagged. So they go over. And
what was the first one they said? Did you write it down?
Yes, I do. He's like, well, first he's like, oh, I don't want to say it. He's like, my moment's kind of gone. And the guy's like,
it won't be funny.
You got to say it. Yeah, he's like, you got to say it. And he's like, hey guys, I'm having one heck of a crazy night. Nights with a K. And no one reacts. And he goes, I don't deserve to be punished. And everyone starts dying laughing at that one. And then I think even Alexander's like, oh, you're my new best friend. And
also during the Truth or Dare, Alexander's calling so many people his new best friend.
It's so funny. They inject our buddy though.
But Alexander doesn't take truth serum.
No, he doesn't.
He puts
a key though.
Pizza.
Yeah, he puts it in the pizza for. Oh, I don't know. Oh, is that what he does? I don't know either. Why did he spray it in the pizza? Oh, I think they gave it to Christopher. I think that's how they injected Christopher. I don't know why they would have just injected him instead of feeding him pizza.
Tied up.
This is weird. They all start revealing their secrets. The N-word starts getting used a little bit for some reason. They bring it up and like they're like, isn't that a crazy word? You're like, what the fuck? It was really out there. And even one guy's like, what the fuck are you saying? And then Alexander.
Oh, it's also worth noting that Macon is drinking uncontrollably.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's like
spilling it all over himself.
He looks like Gigi Allen. I mean, not like appearance wise, but his clothes.
He's not covered in poop.
I guess he doesn't look like Gigi Allen then because there is no shit all over.
Wearing clothes.
But this is like when Gigi Allen was like respectable.
So,
never. What? What are we talking about? So they reveal all this stuff. They inject our buddy and he reveals. Well, first he reveals that he shit his pants at a wedding. Our guy Christopher reveals he shit his pants at a wedding. But then he also reveals that he's a cop. And everyone's like, holy shit. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. I like just give out people's tickets. Yeah, and he's like, no one will miss me if I'm dead. And basically giving them the green light to kill this guy. He's like, no one will check on me. No one will miss me. In a fucking pretty depressing scene.
Yeah.
Alexander then fucks Paul. That just kind of happens. He's just like, he kind of nods to him and you see them fucking.
Yes.
And like a cocaine induced like binge where everyone's like doing their own art. It's so fucking weird. They send and then this is again where the cracks in the foundation start to show in this group. They send the baseball player outside, the baseball fury outside to make fun of his art. And they all start making fun of it in the most fucking pretentious way possible. It's so fucking lame. But we cut and the baseball player is standing inside and he's listening to everything they say. And he is fucking pissed. He's fucking pissed. Alexander sends Zyko out to get crank. And Zyko's like, don't call it crank. He's like, it's not called crank. It's methamphetamine. He's like, well, just call it crank. He's like, so can you get me that crank?
Crank is way cooler.
Crank is way cooler. Zyko's a dick. And then it's about time to murder our buddy Christopher. And in honor, Alexander says he will recite the entirety of The Raven from memory. So fucking funny. A full-on Jagenberg.
Who now owns a Blogenberg.
Oh my God. And that's the name of it, right?
Yeah, Blogenberg.
Guys, don't tell him about the fucking show. Wolfman goes outside all depressed and accidentally lights himself on fire.
By lighting a cigarette.
Inside of his mask.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's weird. Why would you do that? And he goes up in fucking flames. Inside, the dog, our guy Christopher, had let loose Hellhammer because Hellhammer had been like wanting to get into the freezer.
Yeah.
He gets him loose by kind of like wrapping him around the chair. Hellhammer points to the freezer. Alexander opens it up, sees the dead body. I guess everyone thought he was going to freak out, even though to me he would have been like, okay. They stab him with truth serum though, in the middle of all this, in the midst of all this. And then they start asking him questions, and it's all revealed that Alexander is full of shit. He's got no money. He's a fry cook. There's no grant. And he revealed that he was going to kill everybody in that room.
Steal their art.
Yeah. And
sell it. Yes.
Yeah. So the plot's interesting, I guess. Zyko walks in and Alexander just goes, shoot Paul in the face.
I mean, this is very much like Reservoir Dogs.
Very much, yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to talk about, so I hope this episode isn't a total bust. Tells Zyko to shoot these guys. He shoots Paul right in the fucking head. And this was the shot that we were talking about. And it's fucking brutal because Paul's just like standing there like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And finally collapses. And dude, so much blood in this fucking movie. Right?
A lot.
Yeah, it's insane. And ultimately, chaos ensues.
Yes.
A dog eats Alexander.
And Macon is somehow still alive.
Macon is alive, tries to pull the mask off his face, and it just turns him into like, honestly, the most horrifying werewolf in movie history. Like, that is the most terrifying werewolf. Because like the mouth is melted onto his face. So he's got like the wolf mouth, but like a human head.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross. It's a really great special effects though. For this budget,
yeah,
that was unbelievable. And the dog eats the crank, and that's why he eats Alexander's legs. The Wolfman gets up and fucking cuts off Zyko's legs because Zyko's just shooting everyone.
And Bill completely loses his mind.
Which one's Bill?
The Fury.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah. He goes bananas.
Yeah.
And just starts smashing everybody. He kills the lady, the woman in the room with an axe to the head. He kills, who else does he kill?
He kills,
I guess he kills everyone. Everyone that's living except the Wolfman.
Yes.
So basically what happened,
because the Wolfman wakes up.
Right. The girl frees our guy Christopher though before she's murdered. That's what she's actually doing as she's murdered, is she's freeing Christopher. As soon as that happens, like just chaos ensues. Like it is just madness. Christopher's on the run. Baseball Fury's chasing him, and Wolfman is chasing Baseball Fury because Baseball Fury killed Lexi.
Yes.
Are we all following?
Correct.
They get up to the rooftop eventually. Fucking Wolfman is chasing him with a fucking
the electric chainsaw.
Yeah. He's carrying a fucking extension cord with him. It's ridiculous. And the Fury's walking around with an axe. As he got the axe, not the bat. They're on the rooftop.
There's a
party.
An art party.
Yeah, and they discussed that there was this party across town, which I guess they made it there by roof. But they were like, oh yeah, we can't go to that. It's like too pretentious. Like they were like shitting on this party for shitty fucking murder party. And they go into it. And I mean, there's some funny scenes. If you've ever been to a party in Brooklyn, they did it perfectly. This is exactly what it looks like. Like, dude, I've been to parties like this. I've been miserable at parties like this. And I've walked to the train station in scary locations because I hated the party so much. But they get to the party, and of course, it's just first they see this dude in a night costume. Then they see a fucking baseball fury carrying an axe, and no one is alarmed. Everyone's okay with it. And even when a wolf man shows up, they are okay with it.
It is Halloween, though.
Yes, it is. They go into this art exhibit. It's like a live art exhibit.
Yeah, because Christopher hides by pretending to be like a performance art piece.
Yes. By the way, the funniest scenes in this are Christopher hiding. Multiple times in this movie, he tries to hide behind things.
Why is he still wearing his costume?
I wanted to criticize it, but it's clearly a choice because it's so funny. Like, it's so stupid.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying for the characters.
You would clearly take that off in a second because he would have not been found ever. They go into a party that's so fucking crowded, all he would have had to do is take off his costume.
No one knows what he looks like. They're all looking for the knight.
They're all looking for this stupid cardboard knight. All he had to do was take off his costume, but instead he's still running around in it, hiding behind things that are much smaller than he is. Like, you just see his entire head behind these things. And like, he goes to this art exhibit and hides, and he even turns to like the people that are staring at him, and he's like, I'm hiding. But the baseball fury comes in and just fucking slaughters this room with an axe. It's fucking brutal, man. Like, axes to the head, and oh man, the gore is amazing in it.
And he corners Christopher.
Yep.
But Macon,
we see
survives.
Macon was on the roof, and he sees like that they have lights up there, and he's like, "Oh, I could plug in my chainsaw and kill the baseball fury," and then falls off the roof. And we see that from the room that they're in, the art installation room,
the chainsaw's hanging.
We see Macon fall, and the chainsaw extension cord is hanging. And Christopher's quick thinking grabs the chainsaw and fucking just starts chainsawing the shit out of Baseball Fury's head.
And everybody that's still in there thinks it's an art piece.
Well, everyone's dead.
There's a few survivors.
And
more people that come in.
People are coming in to view it for the first time because it was like closed off to the public. And we see somebody being like, oh, they're ready. And so like all of the audience, I guess you'd say, is coming in and they're like, oh, this is really interesting. It would stink in there. Could you imagine the smell of blood?
Yeah.
It'd be,
irony.
Yeah. And then we see Christopher grab a guy's cell phone. He dials 911, says, it's for you, and walks away. There's a weird little scene at the end of this. We see him walking home covered in blood.
So Lance gives him his chair back.
Well, yeah. Did you notice like that scene where he throws away his medication? Did you see that?
No.
So
I
a couple times his watch goes off in this movie, and he always has to take this medication. He takes it. They did like a close up of the bottle, but I couldn't make it out. I'm guessing it's like anti-anxiety medication or something, but he just chucks it like he's not taking it anymore. So I don't know if there was like a lesson or a message in this movie that was like, just go to murder parties. And you won't have anxiety anymore.
I don't think that's the message.
But he goes home covered in blood. This time, like you said, Lancelot moves for him. He sits down, turns on Scarewolf, and the grossest scene in movie history, starts eating candy corn with bloody, dirty hands.
Yes.
That's gross.
Gross.
That's the fucking gross.
Take a fucking shower.
And you know what's honestly the worst part? Is like he was touching railings and shit in New York City.
That is way more disgusting than the blood from the murder party.
Yeah. Like it's all of that on those
holding a subway pole.
And he's fucking eating candy corn. Holy shit.
Honestly, how often do you think those subway poles get cleaned?
Never.
Right. Right. Dude, honestly, they're probably so filthy that the bacteria just eat each other. So they're probably sterile.
I agree.
It's probably safe.
It probably is safe. It's like when they say like the toilet seat is like the cleanest place in the bathroom.
Dirty butts just kill all the bacteria.
Yeah, everyone. No, it's because everyone's ass is actually clean because it's not like exposed or anything. It's all that shit we touch with our hands. It's dirty.
Right. So the poles would be disgusting.
Yeah.
So many dirty.
I guess
You just hold the poles with your ass cheeks. It'll be all clean.
Dude, that sounds like something from the future, if you ask me. Butt cheek pulls. Well, guys, I hope this episode was good. If
How long did we
blame Thom Tum. Hour.
Yeah, blame Tom Thumb.
Blame Thom Tum. No, I mean, it was good to watch. This is a very popular movie. We get a lot.
I would recommend watching it.
A lot of people have requested it to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, unheard of. Actually, I posted a review where it's like, I don't even know if I want to like put the little heart on it on Letterboxd. And he's like, just do it. It's like, no. Tell me what to do, man. I forget who it was. I think it was our funny Bush Moose, maybe. I forget.
Wait, what Bush Moose? Wait.
I think that's who wrote that comment on my Letterboxd review. Bush Moose. Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
I was thinking Booski.
Oh, no, not our good buddy.
I was like, really?
So that's it, man. Murder Party. I would definitely check it out. Well, yeah, check it out. We didn't ruin it.
No.
I didn't want to ruin it for you, so we left a lot of it out.
Again, it's one of the movies, like we said in the beginning, I wouldn't be in any hurry to ever rewatch. I've seen it, and that's that.
But people like it, and it's not really polarizing. Everyone's kind of got it in the same thing where it's like it's a decent movie, but they all like it. Like it's like they'll rate it middle of the road, 3-star, but then love it. Like, you know what I mean?
To me, 3-star is like.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm cool with that. I give it 2.5, but
that's really what.
Because I was feeling iffy about it, but
I like that. Usually, you'd give it like a 4.5 and be like, man, that's not that good.
1. Joe's fixing me.
Yeah.
Joe is fixing me. So that's it, guys. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. If you do, send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll send you some stickers. I'm out of them now, though, so don't send me an email. But I'll order some more this weekend. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com. I'm on Twitter at IHateHorrorShow, Instagram, and Snapchat at IHateHorror.
I'm at JoeV421, Bootnish 1985, and Horror Show Joe.
Anything else? I'll probably put the hats up sometime this week, so look for an announcement. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll announce it now. I'll do it tomorrow, Wednesday. No, I'll do it Friday. No one, not everyone listens on Tuesday, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm overthinking this.
He's lecturing me.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, man. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios. I can't believe we did it right this week.